background.
You'll probably be hearing
Beat
my...
him senseless.
You and you, we gonna throw down. That's right, we gonna get serious.
You can run, but you can't hide.
It's time for the Fuller Broadcast with your host, Jeff Fuller.
What's up, everybody? Sorry I had to leave the picture. Welcome to Full Broadcast 24/7 Sports News. Live interviews with fighters from MMA, BKFC, UFC, you name it. I get them on my show to talk about their stories from their past, their future fights, and how the journey they got to where they got to today. So today I have Hanna, I think it's Hanna Elswick. Did I pronounce it? All right, got it right first. Welcome to the Full Broadcast.
Thank you. Been trying to get on here forever.
So, give us a little story about how you started, what got you into fighting.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, when I was younger, I guess around the age of 16 or whatever, I was a little bit of a rebel. I like getting out there and get myself in trouble a little bit, fighting on the streets and stuff. Mainly would be fighting guys. I don't know. I felt like I had something to prove or something like that. So I got a little bit older, and one of my friends, he was cage fighting. And I asked him about how I could get into it and what I did. And that was back in before June of 2012. That's when I made my amateur debut at Appalachia High School for Premier Fighting Challenge here in Virginia. And the two girls, I guess, were trying to fight each other. And back then, there was not a lot of female fighters, especially in the region and around the area. Like, it was really rare to find. And they couldn't find me a fight. And I remember them putting a post on me, or a status out there on me saying, she'll fight anybody in Southwest Virginia. She's calling out everybody. And I look at that and I think, oh, Lord, because when I was that age, I was 21 back in 2012, and I just didn't have no filter at all. I didn't care. So didn't know much about the fight game or how things work. I didn't have no training. I really didn't even watch UFC. It's just I like street fighting. So one of the girls, she actually ended up dropping the fight. So here I got the fight 2 weeks notice in advance, no training. Didn't even know how to pronounce jiu-jitsu. Didn't really know what it was. Had a little lesson on how to do a rear naked choke and things, and use my hands a little bit 2 weeks in advance. And I cut the weight, and I remember the day of weigh-ins. I starved myself to cut weight, but I was still drinking water, and for some reason it didn't register in my mind that drinking water was adding weight to me. I mean, that's how new I was to fighting when I fought the first time. So, anyways, I learned that night how to cut weight because I came in a pound over, and I had to go and sit inside the truck and put a trash bag over me and like spit in the cup and everything. And that was
I remember those days.
Yeah, that was my first lesson when it came to cutting. I can remember right before the fight when I was in the cage, they looked at me and they're like, "Fighter, are you ready?" I was like, "Yeah." I went out for like 2 seconds. I almost passed out because my nerves were like so bad. And you can see in the video from back then where I started to close my eyes. I'm like this. As soon as the ref said fight and the bell dinged, I came right back to, went straight for the middle, started swinging. Unfortunately, the girl that I fought, she had a winning record and trained, unlike me, and I did okay. I held on to her neck the whole time because I really didn't know what to do when I was on bottom. And for some reason, somehow it got back to the feet, and the first thing I went for was like her back and like this halfway rear naked choke because I didn't know anything else. And she did a spin and landed on top, and from there, my corner yelled, "Wrist!" And I didn't know what wrist control was. So I just reached up and just grab her wrist. And that was the worst idea. Because her fist came straight for my nose, and my nose got fractured that night. I turned around and I just let her choke me out. I didn't want no more. I can remember the first time getting hit like that. I saw red, and it was like getting hit with a Mack truck. So I'm used to it now, but back then it was was pretty nerve-wracking.
So your training, so your ability of fighting now has changed so dramatically that you're much better now that you were before. So the experience you have now, I've seen you training with your boyfriend, fiance, Travis.
Trevor Blankenship.
Yeah. So what is it like to have a partner with you to train with you every day to keep your weight on, your condition, and everything going?
Oh Lord, we are both so competitive because that's how we met was through jiu-jitsu. He's not much for the stand-up game. I've tried to make him help me with like sparring and mitts and things. So we're still working on that. But a lot of times where we are so competitive, we actually try to separate our training because we both love training jiu-jitsu and we started um when we first met, we were like best friends for about a year before we started dating, just like through training. Never even thought about dating, to be honest. We were just friends. And then all of a sudden, I guess one day it kind of just mended and went together. But when it came to training, when we started dating, things changed a little bit. It wasn't like friends training and like this. Then we started getting more competitive and things like that. So we still train together. Not all the time as much as we used to. Uh, he goes to a different jiu-jitsu gym than me, and I get my training like at a full MMA gym where they have everything all the way around. Like he's strictly jiu-jitsu and things, so it's a little bit different when it comes to our training and like what we do. So and plus where he's really long and he likes to play on his back and submit. Like we're complete opposites when it comes to training. And I've tried to help him and get him to help me when it comes to me not being in a dominant position, learning how to play off my back, and when it comes to him being in a dominant position, learning how to maintain it, work through it, and submit from there. So it's good because we're complete opposites. Plus, I'm short and he's tall, so we both have to put in a lot of work when it comes to training with each other. And I know one day when he came to the gym that I train at, uh, and we were rolling, the coach was like, I have never seen you roll like that with anybody before. Why don't you roll like that all the time with people? And I'm just like, I don't know what it is. We're just so competitive when we roll with each other that half the time we'll have a couple of rounds and after that kind of stop, because if we keep going and going all day, man, we'll just get heated because both of us just want to beat each other so bad. So which is really good too when it comes to being in the cage, because it's really like it's just like being actively in the cage and it being live, because it's not like any easy role. He's tough on me, and that's what I need, and I'm tough on him too.
Yeah.
So
That's what you both do. So I've noticed, like in the sports today, I've seen a lot of couples that are married that are in the MMA or bare knuckle. They they seem to take things too serious. And in a household, you guys are still training like you're still fighting in the ring. Like when you're at home, you're like, know what? Let's fight. I'm bored right now. The training that you guys continue to do, it helps you get your mindset ready for your next fight. So that's a plus for some couples. Some couples can't handle that. So I get props up to you two because you guys continue to train with each other to make yourself better. So that's really good. I like that.
And we had to come to we had to kind of mediate between each other and talk to each other when it came to training, how to get through tough times. Because, a lot of times it can cause arguments because you'll go to do something and you believe a certain way and then they believe something different, because we both grew up training jiu-jitsu differently, like in different gyms. So everywhere you go, people train different, and some big no-nos is like big yeses or whatever in other places. So when you come together from two different gyms, you have to learn to work together and listen to what the other person says, accept what they're saying,
Right.
try to utilize it, see how it works out for you. And you're not going to ever learn if you just go by what you were taught or what you know. You have to listen to other people and where they come from as well. So we've learned to do that and get along better together when we train.
So what is it like? Do you guys coach each other corners in different fights? Like when he's got a fight coming, do you coach him in the corner and he coaches you when you have a fight?
Hmm. Well, I love cornering him and like coaching him because I like to mend and blend it. Like he's only done jujitsu for like 2 years, and I've been into it for like between 8 and 10, roughly. I've lost count, but um, so I'm always trying to like make him my little protege or something. I don't know, blend him how I want him to be and how I would want somebody to train me because I didn't have the opportunity to really train with um a significant other that knew more than what I did and that like could help me like I have him. So I'm hoping he'll take advantage of it. But uh then again, when it comes to technique and like the strength difference between us, there's a lot of things that works for him that doesn't work for me, especially when it comes to like the length and stuff. He has very long legs. He's 6'2". I'm 5'4". So the triangle setups for him is a little bit easier than what it is for me. So
Right.
but he has his own style as well, which I try to work with when I corner him. But when it comes to cornering me, he is my coach when it comes to like strictly jiu-jitsu events and things. But when it comes to like MMA and everything all the way around, I have my corners who I like do my camp with. And I know last fight, Trevor helped corner me also. 'Cause he's loud and I can listen to whatever he says. So if the coach says something, if I can't really hear him, he'll transfer it and, yell at me. So it makes a good team when they come together. But I know the next fight that I have, I don't think he's going to be cornering me. I think it's going to be two people from the gym, um, because I don't think we're going to use a lot of jiu-jitsu for this next fight because I'm just now starting to transition from a jiu-jitsu artist into more of a stand-up knockout artist, which is ultimately what I've always wanted in life, and that's just now starting to blend the way that I want it to go.
So here's the next support question I usually ask a lot of fighters. So the support system you have, I know you got you have 2 or 3 kids, I can't remember, but
I'll have
how is the
4.
support? Oh, 4? I got 5.
Yeah.
Well, 8 total, but I got 8, but 5 with me. So how are you maintaining the mindset of be able to juggle with the kids, your work and your training? It's hard, ain't it? So how can you keep that up?
Well, usually I have to exclude video games and TV, so I don't get to do a lot of that. So, but I really do try to make sure whatever time I'm putting into my college and my training, that I'm putting the same amount of time in with my kids. So it's usually 50% kids and then 50% everything else. So, um, and if I have a day to where I know I have to train that morning and I have to train that evening and I have to do college in between, I'm going to find some time throughout that day to spend time with my kids, or I'm going to make the next day a day where I do nothing but, have fun with the kids and take them out to the park. And if anything, I'll multitask and do my college online while they're playing or while I'm spending time with them. But number one, before anything, my kids always come first. I don't care what somebody says. I know you have to make sacrifices to fight and time and
Yep.
things like that. But I believe if I have to sacrifice time spent with my children, that they need, that I'm gonna choose my kids above anything, despite
Yep.
how important fighting is to me. They'll always come first. If I had to choose between fighting and my kids, it's gonna be my kids first. So by far. But I do try to find a median in between the two. And if I go and train, I take my kids with me. I have them involved. I had my 7-year-old in boxing. She did it for a little while, and then she got into Minecraft. So now she likes to play Minecraft while I train.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the oldest one, I can't get her into fighting. I let her try jujitsu one time, and that's not for her. She's into video games also. They're taking over the world. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you
And
need to
then
watch that. My kids are in Fortnite. They play Fortnite a lot, so it's
uh,
it's just
they
it's a
got into
headache.
that for a while. But I'm like, can you just go outside and play? I went and got him a pool and things, and we have a lot of land here, and we have a 4-wheeler and things. So I try to get them out and get them more involved. I'll um, take them to the pool and stuff, and I'll try to take them on walks and running with me. We just went to Gatlinburg this weekend and did a
My
couple of
favorite
things.
place.
Oh yeah, I love Gatlinburg, so I chose that over the beach.
I used to live out there towards Knoxville, Tennessee. I lived out there for like 10 years before I moved.
Oh man, that's where I want to move. After I finish this contract fighting these girls and maybe one more from that third team, I might go over there to train with them, do some cross training. So, but I can't do that until I finish my contract and fight them all.
So, how long has Cotton Eye Joe been doing all these fights for you guys? When I left there, they
That was
weren't
an
doing any of that.
ultimate goal. I know that's a really good gym, but I still want to stay at home. I love my hometown. The people that I train with in the gym down here, I mean, they've known me since day one. They know me better than anybody. So I would really like to get in fighting. So.
All right, look like we lost her feedback. Her feedback. We're having an internet issue right there, so hopefully we get her back on. Apologize for that. There's been some issue with the internet. So as you see, Hannah, she's been into MMA fighting and everything. She's been fighting out at Cotton Eye Joe, where they do major cards up there once a month or so. And if you guys live in Knoxville area or so, check that out. They do a lot of fightings out there, and it's great fighting there. You see Alonzo Hunt there. You see Paul Ninja Turtle there. You know, they do a lot of great promotion there. So check them out. They're in Knoxville, Tennessee, called Cotton Eye Joe. They do a lot of events up there. Just check them out. So hopefully we'll get her back here in a few minutes. There's been a little issue. So as you see, the story grew up. She didn't grow up fighting until she was like 14, 15. She said that she didn't even train or anything. She did a few things and started her first match. So ever since then, she's started fighting. So look where she's at now. She's done a lot much better. She's improved in her fighting game. She's trying to get her stand-up game much better. You know, hopefully we can see her, you know, somewhere in Bellator or MMA. Let me see if I get her back here. All right, let's see if we get her back here. Oh, we'll get her back here in a few minutes. She's having a little internet issue. Hopefully, it'll come back up. So, she's a really awesome person. She's a great mother. She's a great fighter, and she continues to rise in the fighting game. She's trying to get much better. So let's see. So while I'm waiting for her, to come back in, she's trying to get back on. So I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Steve the Hitman, Tyson for helping me out bringing fighters to my show, talk about their stories in the fighting game and what got them there, their journey and everything. Craft by Eve, she's been helping me out with my shirts and everything. If you guys want logos or anything made on the East Coast wise, she'd be glad to help you out. She makes good logos for glasses, wine glasses, shirts, hats, you name it. Check out our website. She'll be glad to help you out. And D&D Bates, let's bring her back. There she is right there. Are you there?
Yeah. I said I was talking too much. You pissed me off.
Yeah, I know. I was sitting there, you froze. Then all of a sudden you were talking and it froze. I'm like, what? And it just kicked you out.
Well, Lord, I'm on Wi-Fi. I don't know what I did that for.
So let's talk about the next step. What are we going to see from you in 2021? Are we going to see you more in like semi or pro? Or are we going to see you at Bellator? Are we going to try to see you at UFC? What's next for you?
There's a couple of options. After I finish this contract, I was wanting to actually make my professional boxing debut. Um, for some reason, I just have been getting into boxing a lot, and it's really started to blend for the last year. Um, but I do have my final fight for my contract June 4th at Cotton Eye Joe, and that will be against Taylor Turner, which is
She's breaking up a little bit more. I'm not sure where exactly she's located, but her internet or it could be some bad connection, but keeps freezing up and her now she froze. Let's see if I get her see if she's in the main cage. All right, she froze up, so hopefully let's fix this up later, get her internet working better. It could be bad connection in between the states. Who knows? This world's gone to shit, But I appreciate her taking her time and effort being on my show. And hopefully I'll get her where she get better Wi-Fi reception. So thank you for being on my show, Hanna Elswick. I hope to have your husband and future husband and you on the show at the same time, talk about your fighting career. So I like to thank everybody taking the time watching the Fuller Broadcast Show. Thank you and have a good day and see you guys later.